wastewater treatment nowadays are becoming complicated because of stringent effluent requirement by the regulatory agency. And if you will not comply with those requirements, then you will not be given with the permits. And that we have to provide compliance action plan wherein we have to promise that we will retrofit and improve the current system that we're having so that it could comply with the standards, especially with the new parameters that are being required, such as ammonia and phosphate. And that is why we have this video, because we would like to share our experience in the actual compliance action plan. Title for this video as biological nutrient removal. There is an existing wastewater treatment that we have retrofitted and made into integrated fixed frame activity. In the biological nutrient removal, we need to undergo various treatment processes, and that is why we have titled this slide as Age of Multiple Treatment Processes in Treating Wastewater. So if you have aerobic process right now, it cannot do alone all of those activities that need to be done so that ammonia and phosphate can be removed. So you need some help, and that is why we will be sharing with you our experience on that regard. This is the activities of our retrofit. Number one is we convert aerobic oxidation needs to become anaerobic digestion needs. So we take out the aeration part while maintaining the mixing part. Then we insert rotating biological contactor to perform anaerobic, anoxic, and oxic processes within the system. This is the oxidation needs while it is still in aerobic process. We encountered lots of problems like floating sludge, especially when fat, oil, and grease is coming in. So this is what it looks like. And then it will be carried over to the sedimentation tank or clarifier. So in effect, we have less sludge retention. And here, as it reaches the sedimentation tank or clarifier, it floats on top of it. So it will be carried over. However, when aerobic process become upset or have an upset condition, then this will be the look of the oxidation needs. So this is upset, no more treatment. In that case, so we have to clean it up. And this is due to FOG chemicals and unchecked waste coming into the oxidation needs. This is very odorous. So this is the oxidation needs that we have converted into anaerobic digestion needs. And you can see the color change. This is a looser look of the liquor, anaerobic liquor. You can see the sludge, the anaerobic sludge that are moving around. So the mixing is still continued while the aeration is being stopped. So that's the jet pumps that we are using to make it happen. So this is one of the component of the biological nutrient removal process wherein we converted the oxidation needs from aerobic process into an anaerobic process. So before we used to have a problem with FOG. Now FOG can just come in because it will be handled by this anaerobic process, and it will be moved around by a jet pump. so it is moving slowly. You can see the movement of the vapor, and although it has no cover, but it is anaerobic. Maybe the oxygen of the surface is there, but you cannot penetrate. This is the second component of the BNR, wherein we are using a compact rotating biological compactor that is rentable. So this is the biofilm that we can see as it receives the wastewater coming from the digestion needs. So this is a closed loop of the biofilm, a very healthy biofilm that is doing anaerobic, anoxic, and oxic treatment while it is rotating all the wastewater being fed from the anaerobic digester. This is rotating on 1 RPM. So this is the other side. So the motor is 1 horsepower, driven by 1 horsepower motor, and the diameter is 2.4 meter. And that this is the valve that controls the inflow of the wastewater going to the RBC. This is manually set, and you can see that this RBC biofilm is 5 months old, and it has never been detached from it, so it's continuously thickening in the media of the RBC. So, and then going back to the clarifier, this is the clarifier when we are using the aerobic process, particularly when there is the uh, oxidation leads like this. So here the sludge, floating sludge gets into this sump and going into the clarifier. This is the aerator, the jet or the aspirating aerator. So there are lots of aerator. We use aspirating aerator and jet aerator in the aeration of these oxidation leads. Now you will see that there is a lot of fossil and grease in the oxidation lead. So this is a problem with that. As you can see, that the clarifier is already filled up with the floating sludge or scum that is being washed out from this aeration basin or oxidation leads. And we'll show you the clarifier when it is already using or being used as part of the BNR. So this is already the clarifier that are receiving wastewater coming from the RBC. So here you can see that there's no floating sludge. This is the sludge tank or the sludge return of the oxidation leads. And finally, this is the effluent wastewater that is continuous and consistent with its effluent quality, and that the analysis of this water or effluent water uh, marked reduction in ammonia and phosphate. In fact, there are times that the phosphate already past standard and that ammonia is also closing in. So here is the actual setup of the oxidation leads. It's a big area, and this is a 25-year-old facility that's still being very useful and been providing good quality effluent of, of treatment. This just happened when we converted it to BNR, but before the conversion, we have also a big problem in the effluent quality. We have to be very, very watchful for the effluent quality because it will just change easily when, especially when fats and grease come in. So this is the overall change that we have, and that whenever when the capacity will reach about full, then we hope that this will still work for the treatment of ammonia and phosphate. So this, right now it is perfect combination. So if you need us, then you can contact us through this or through our Facebook page, and you can send email to us, and we will answer you. So that's our presentation for the biological nutrient removal, and we have done it for June wastewater treatment facility. And it is quite hard to do it, especially if you don't have an area. But with RBC, you can find some area if you will ask or rely upon us to do your retrofitting.